and I was just adjusting the camera. Fine. Hi, everyone. Lost that I am today. Good evening. This is Gini Aneja again, and I am back with Komal Shah, who had come 2 weeks back, if you remember. She spoke about vortex sealing, and she told me that she also does nervous system reset and regeneration. So I will allow her to talk to you about it because I have absolutely no idea what that is. Hi,
Hi,
Komal.
Guinea. Hi, Guinea. How are you?
I'm okay. A little lost today, but I'm fine.
No worries. It's good to be back
So,
here.
yeah, I'm glad. So, you said something about some new therapy that you do. It's not a healing, it's a therapy, you told me. And
Yes,
it's related to the nervous system.
true, true.
Okay, so why don't you talk about it a little, and then there are some questions which are already waiting for us. We can
Awesome.
take those.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's called nervous system reset and regulation. So let me give you again a recap of the biology that we've learned in our school, right? A lot of people must have not taken science after that. So our body has central nervous system. So that consists of our brain and our spine. Then there is peripheral nervous system. So that is all the nerves that connects to all the organs. And the organs send messages to and fro to the brain from the periphery. Now, peripheral nervous system has many components, and in that there is autonomic nervous system. So, autonomic kind of automatic, that way you can remember. Again, autonomic nervous system has parts. Then there is called sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So now, what is this sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system? Basically, sympathetic nervous system has to do with our fight and flight response. So suppose, to give you an example, if like now we don't live in jungle, or there is no way that we will have a tiger in our way, right? So here the threat would be, immediate threat would be falling really sick, meeting an accident. In a general way, like in a very common day to day example, if I'm supposed to give you, then it would be asking your boss for a pay raise. So that would be that would again feel a threat if you're not that, if one is not that confident. So a public speaking could be a threat for a lot of people. So that is where your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. So what happens in this, that all your vision becomes like a tunnel vision. You're focused, very focused on one goal or a point, right? You blink less. Like hum tratak karte hain, so this becomes like a normal tratak which is naturally happening. So it's that your palms sweat, your digestion system slows down, basically, because you don't, in a situation where there is a threat, you don't need to digest your food, right? So that slows down, and your heart rate increases. So there is, the breathing is fast but it's shallow, it's not a deep breathing. And your immunity system shuts. So basically, because everything is then focused at that time, the body tenses up, because there is a possible threat and you have to perform. You either fight it out or you have to fly away. So you need all your energy to either run or to fight. Suppose if there is a gunda in front of you, so what do? You either fight or you flight, right? So but you need all your energy focused in that particular direction. So that happens. Now what happens here is, lot of people are in this stress mode where their body is constantly in this fight or flight. And why? Because there is, initially there is a childhood trauma, or later on there is some bullying that has happened to them in the school, or there is an absentee parent, or parents who are very angry. So things like this must have happened. Then there is relationship trauma. If they get married, or girlfriend boyfriend, all those things, then there is lot of stress. There is a trauma, could be an accident. A trauma could be as simple as a dental surgery or any other surgery. So when these things keep piling up, and your body does not return after every fight and flight mode, the body needs to return back to normal, where it's relaxed again, right? That's a homeostasis. So if the body does not return back to that, and they are constantly under some stress, some threat, then there is digestive issue. Then there is permanent stress in the body. Then there is digestive issue. Then there is heart issue. Then there is inflammation in the body. Then there is anxiety. Then chronic illnesses, even autoimmune cancer. So research has shown that even cancer develops. So this is what happens. Now, what is parasympathetic nervous system? So parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest. It's when, like how we consider an afternoon time. You eat, then you feel like taking a nap. So it's rest and digest. Your body, is digesting food. It's calm, it's relaxed, it's composed. So that's rest and digest. So the balance between the two, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, is extremely important in this case. Like, you have a fight flight mode. We all are living in this physical world. We are going to have some other stress. It is not possible to live without stress. Let's accept this. Let's be in that acceptance. But after that particular stress, we need to come back to the relaxed mode. The shoulders should be normal, the body should be feeling absolutely fine. So that rest and digest is parasympathetic. But when your body is constantly in that fight flight mode and it does not return to its homeostasis, that's where the imbalances arise. That's where there are a lot of diseases. That's where the person, from stress is your physiological response to fear. Worry is your thought. And the intersection is anxiety. So that's where anxiety comes into picture. And that's where we are into a different zone. We are not our normal self. And then everything, right from the child's homework to what to cook today, everything seems overwhelming. Like last year showed us, that we could stay at home and yet be stressed out because of
Yeah.
pandemic, right? There were a lot of worries, a lot of issues. And the stress level, you must have seen that, a lot of people who seemed fit and fine but had COVID. A lot of people who were like, falling sick probably often than others still did not contract COVID in spite of going out and, doing all the chores and stuff. They were fine. So that's where this parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system balance comes in the picture. Also, if I take a look at it from a spiritual perspective, then sympathetic is your Pingala Nadi and parasympathetic is your Ida Nadi. So they are on the spine, and in between is a Sushumna, right? So when the balance comes in picture, that's where the Sushumna Nadi
Rises up.
rises, the Kundalini, and it
Yes.
leads you to enlightenment. So that is the spiritual aspect. But if we see this from the spiritual aspect perspective as well, then the Ida is the left nostril. It is left side of body, the female energy, the Chandra Nadi, right? And it controls the right hemisphere of the brain. The Pingala, the sympathetic, is the right side, the male side, the Surya Nadi, the one which is aggressive, right? So that controls left hemisphere of the brain. So that's why we say that when you are in the anxiety mode, when you are stressed out, do left nostril breathing, because that will activate your rest and digest system. that will activate your relaxation, that will make you calm. So it has a basis in the spirituality as well and the science as well. That is why I love it all the more. Yeah, so this is the explanation, basically the gist of what is sympathetic and what is nervous system regulation and all about SNS and PNS. Yeah, I can go much more into detail, but that will become a science class totally.
So, Amit, I believe she's already answered your question. Uh, okay, there is a discussion going on here whether you're wearing white or light blue.
No, I'm wearing a pastel green.
Oh, it's not blue and not white. It's pastel green, but maybe because of the light,
Line.
it's looking
Yeah.
like blue or white. All right. Thank you. Mine is also not white. It is cream. It's off white. So, what she was saying, and you haven't heard because you were paying more attention to what she's wearing. She was saying that when you're stressed out, you breathe from your left nostril to de stress and to calm down. That is what she was saying. Since Amit asked how to distance yourself from job stress. So before we go ahead and you tell us about the therapy, if the comments come in, then the comments will move above and I'll miss out on the questions. So some questions Jay has left for us. What harms our nervous system?
What harms is basically the stress, and we cannot just get rid of stress, but we need to know how to equip ourselves better to deal with the stress. First of all, balance our nervous system. That would be the first step. And then, as you equip yourself well, then you make it into a daily practice. It needs to be a lifestyle, not a one day thing. That
Just like yoga.
it's like, yes, just like yoga. Because what I do in this practice is I do a mix of yoga, Japanese yoga. I do a mix of Japanese yoga, Tai Chi, EMDR. Those are eye movements, rapid eye movements. I do that. I involve mindfulness, breathing. So I've made it an overall thing. So it is a holistic thing. I include everything to give you something that will suit you. I also later on go into detoxing your organ energy just from breathing and tonal sounds, just with the help of that. So it is getting rid of, because every organ stores an energy, be it anger, anxiety, frustration, everything, hatred. So our stomach, basically our small intestine stores hatred. So it is associated with heart. We didn't know, right? So what I do is, later on, first of all, I orient people back to themselves, because if you would have noticed that a lot of time we just walk. I used to notice this in myself, that I would walk and I would just hit the bed frame, and I would say that this is where I pass in a day 50 times and I still hit my bed frame. So where was my mind? So we are not in the present moment, right? I was not aware of my environment in that moment. So I orient people back to themselves, their own body and their environment. So we start from there. That's the first step. Then their breathing. Once they do the breathing, then comes the postures, then the eye movements, then how to deal with the stress, and then the organ energy and chakras will come at a later point. But this is how we follow. So it's like a therapy, which
So
is actually a lifestyle practice.
basically, all the negative emotions and stress is what
True.
affects the nervous system. Does a
True.
mental or nervous breakdown do irreparable damage to the nervous system?
Not irreparable. No, I wouldn't say that. There is always, we can intervene and we can always revert
Because
it back.
cells always regenerate themselves after a period
Yes.
of years. So,
And we can always reverse it. It will take time. It's a slow process, It's not going to be like an energy healing where I would give 6 or 8 energy healings and I see thyroid going away. No, it's not that kind of process. It is a slow process. One needs to be regular with it, practice it every day. That's what I would recommend, to build up your system, to bring a balance in your energy body, to bring a balance within you, so that you deal with the stress in a better way. So for that, we need a regular practice, like how yoga is, like how mindfulness is, like how you watch your diet. You don't watch your diet only one day, right? You would probably have one cheat day, but you would eat very regularly. You will watch your diet. You would be very strict with it probably, or very mindful with it, but you will do it every day. So this is an everyday practice, and this is what I equip the person with. I just teach them certain things, and then they need to practice. Then they can come back to me after a month or so, and then we can take a step more. So it's that kind of practice.
How best to protect our nervous system?
There is no set way to protect our nervous system.
Stay happy.
But this is what I feel, because things will keep happening in the physical world. There will be your environment which will keep on bringing stressors into your reality. It's just how you deal with it and how balanced you are. So even in the situation which are not so good or not so happy, how to be calm, composed, joyful within yourself is what we all are striving for.
It's an irony that which holds the key to our well being is called nervous system.
Yes.
Why is
Yeah.
that?
I feel everything is, on the physical realm, the earth, everything is duality, good or bad, day and night, sun and moon. So
Right.
everything is duality. So this also, I see it as a duality.
Okay. What about the nervous system of animals and how to keep it safe? How do you keep it safe?
I So basically, I've never worked with animals, so I
Mhm.
cannot give a definite answer for that. But I have heard, I don't have a fur baby, but I've heard that they pick up our vibes. So I feel that, once you balance yourself, you're passing on that energy to your fur baby as well. That's what I can say.
True. And on the other hand, you can always do Reiki for them.
Okay.
Always give them Reiki healing. And the best way to protect them or keep their nervous system healthy is to keep them happy. I
True.
believe laughter, smile, love, compassion, kindness is giving it and receiving it is the best way to, you know, keep your energies positive, and that is what is going to keep the nervous system healthy, I feel. Are we paying enough attention to our nervous system and ensure it's in good shape in our normal life or the kind of life we are having nowadays?
No, we aren't. Because when I started, so to be very truthful, even I started facing anxiety in 2019, and that led me to a book. And from the book, I got hold of the author, who's the doctor in Canada. So I got
Wow.
hold of him, and then I learned from him, because I got so involved in the book actually, and I loved it and I practiced it and I saw the difference. So I only learn things which I see the difference. I actually implement it, I learn, or I take those sessions, and if I see the difference in me, I learn those modalities. So I
Are
have.
you talking about something like the 21 Tibetan rites?
No, no, no. I am
Tibetan
not.
yoga?
This is totally on the nervous system. So I chanced upon a book, and then I
What was that
learned that.
book?
So that is Walking the Tiger by Dr. Peter Levine.
Walking. The Tiger by
Dr. Peter Levine.
Levine.
Yeah.
Lavin.
Yes. Levain, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Walking the Tiger. Wow.
So I chanced upon that. Then I learned under him. He has certain courses associated with somatic experiencing. So I did that course last year. And
Hmm.
then I, started my own practice. And then I learned more. I came upon Japanese yoga, which is something new. We've heard in the normal yogas that we do, there is Hatha yoga and Patanjali
And
yoga and
Indian.
stuff. But Japanese yoga is something different. It is more about mind body unification. So I learned bits and pieces of that. Then I started learning Tai Chi. So,
Tiger.
my practice involves all the aspects. It does not involve only one thing, but yes, I have culminated everything. I've learned everything and culminated it into a practice of mine. So, I use a little of EMDR, I use Tai Chi, I use Japanese yoga, I use somatic experiencing. So, everything, breathing,
So,
all
according to
that.
you, when somebody starts this therapy with you,
Hmm.
to get in balance, that is assuming that they're doing it every day, practicing every
Yeah.
day, how
Hmm.
long do you think it takes for a person to achieve it?
So achieving one won't be difficult, the balance would be difficult, but them to be on the path if they are regular, I would say 4 to 5 days is them doing the practice is really good. 6 days is excellent. 7 day they can take a rest. So yeah, that they need to do. There are some things that I will teach them which they don't have to do it every day. So it's once a week process. There are some which they have to do 5 days a week. The breathing, especially the posture. There are certain techniques which I just teach the person to use in a certain kind of situations. Like if there is a public speaking or there is a presentation, you are scared. So then what to do at that time? So that is just a quick fix. So that I teach people. So that needs to be done only at that time. But yes, over a period, I think 2-3 months would be good enough for them to build up their resistance to bring more of calm in their system. And then we
So
can
do
progress
they have to
forward.
meet you every day, or
No,
they just
not
meet
every day.
once?
It's they just come, initially once or twice they come, then we can meet online once a month and that's it. And they practice on their own. So when I
Oh,
meet them once a month, then we do certain exercises together. So I show them and plus I see their posture, their capability, the breathing, everything. So we go through the process again and then we meet again another month. So they don't have to keep meeting me. So that is the thing. That's the best part about this. They just need to practice on their own. So it's like yoga classes, probably people go to yoga class once or twice a week, then they must be doing at home, I'm assuming. So if they are practicing yoga as a, regular practice, their practice for their health and mind. So this is that kind of thing.
so is there any um, kind of preference that they do it in the morning or they do it?
Yes, there are certain exercises, but initial exercise is what I will tell them to do in the morning, because our body goes through certain time schedule as well. Like afternoon is rest and digest. So I tell people not to do anything between 1 to 5 because that's the time where your system goes into the resting mode. So that's the lunch and then nothing doing till 5. Then 5 to 7 is the time where you do certain release things. So that's only once a week. But the main time is in the morning. So as it is, I've seen that mostly people prefer exercising in the morning. A lot of people prefer, well, more than 50%. So that's the time when you do your work, your exercise, and then you go to
Komal,
work.
like Amit said, you know, people have to work,
Hmm.
especially in times like these when work is difficult, or some people are working from like And even working from home, especially, it's become a
Hmm.
9 to 9 job, even
I,
if earlier they were not doing it. So
hmm,
at
hmm.
such times, when somebody, like Amit was saying, somebody is working and you're working late as well, and then a morning first thing you have to run, that you so that you're not late for your work. How does one manage that?
So morning, when I say morning, it is, and when I'm talking about the exercise, it is just a 15 or 20 minutes of exercise.
Okay.
So I don't think it is that difficult for anybody. And morning, if I say, if you're getting up in the Brahma Muhurat, which I don't, but a lot of people do, so they can get up at 5, up to 9, they have a time to spare those 15 minutes of exercise. So that's easy. It is, I'm not looking at bombarding person with that hour long. It's not gymming. It's not, cardio. It's not kickboxing. It's not hit training. It's not tabata. Nothing. It's 15 minutes. That's what I
Okay.
tell people.
Okay.
Something which is very simple.
Right. So when somebody does this, uh, so when somebody does these exercises,
Hmm.
does it, and when you say that it affects the nervous system,
Hmm.
uh, do you see, I mean, does it affect your overall health, your mental health, your emotional health,
Of
or
course.
your fitness, physical fitness on a broader scale?
I would
What?
not say physical fitness, but yes, your mental health, because your stress level will go down, your anxiety will go down. So, if you are particularly looking at anxiety, then we start off from that point. The exercises will be different. The exercise, I mean, it's just a posture and basically certain hand movements or certain, breath exercises. So it's not your, please take it out of your mind that it is normal yoga that one does. It is basically standing in a particular way and, observing yourself or observing your environment and then again yourself, things like those, or just the breathing exercises, but the posture has to be certain way. So there has to be, the posture is very, I'm very particular about the posture because that also makes a difference. So, yes, it definitely helps you with your health because your nervous system is getting in balance. So, yes, it helps you with your physical health, your mental and emotional health. Physical fitness, no, not physical fitness. I'm not looking at physical fitness that
Yeah,
you
but I
can go
guess
to
when
the
your
gym
nerves
to.
start coming in balance,
Hmm.
they would energize all your internal organs positively, and that would in turn affect your physical body.
So mainly what happens is more than this phenomena that it will positively affect your internal organs. Basically, it will regulate all your organs. So what will happen is that if you have digestive issue, right? So once everything starts coming into balance, we release the toxins through the breath, through the sound, through the posture, everything. We release those toxins. Your gut health will be fine, right? So you will digest your food better. You will not have indigestion. You will not have constipation. It will take time. It's not overnight miracle, but yes, that will happen. So physical fitness, I can say yes in that sense. The health improves overall.
That's what I
But
feel.
yes, if you're looking at, like proper gym fitness, no, this is not that.
No,
But yes,
no,
the
that's
health
what I
will definitely improve. Your mental and emotional health will improve above all. I look at, there is a cognitive approach to the therapy. So mine is bottom up, so body mind approach. So I go from body to mind. So when this is, because constantly the signals are sent to our brain, and from our brain it is sent to all our organs. So when this is fine, everything, this is fine. Yeah.
feel. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happens.
Right. And when you say it is, you were talking about Japanese yoga. So
Yeah.
Indian yoga or whatever yogas that we have, most of them are all Indian basically, only from
Hmm.
different parts of India. And
True.
they involve a lot of twisting and turning of your body in different positions. So, is Japanese yoga also something similar?
So, Japanese yoga is mainly mind body unification. There are certain principles. So, there is something like mindfulness which is included in that. There is not too much of asanas that we have in our Indian yoga. Hatha yoga is mainly what people, internationally do. They don't know still a lot of other forms, and at the most pranayam. But Japanese has a few movements, then basically the flow of the chi, the mindfulness. So everything is an art, everything. So your mind is in the present moment. So it is more to do with, be your mind and body needs to be one.
It's
Your
isn't this
mind.
mindfulness similar to the meditation that we do in India in Vipassana or others?
No, it is like, even if you're cooking, right? Even if you're cooking or writing an article, that is also mindfulness. So your full attention, your
Living in the
five
now.
senses are in the now. So that is the mindfulness. So everything is an art. If you are, combing your hair, that's a mindful activity. It does not have to be a meditation. So it is, energy in motion kind of a thing. That
Right,
everything you do is a mindfulness practice.
right.
So you are in the present moment constantly. So that's why when you are in that present moment, you're not in the future, you're not anxious, you're not worried because you were in the past or you're hurting.
Living the
Nothing. You are
present.
in the present moment, living your best. So that's the Japanese yoga philosophy mainly based on.
And the breathing, you were saying some breathing techniques. Is it
Yeah.
similar to pranayam?
No, it is not. Again, it is mostly from Tai Chi and Japanese yoga. So I have not taken, but yes, the only thing I tell people to do is, the left nostril breathing. So when they are too tensed, so if you start left nostril breathing, you will feel relaxation, within 2 minutes probably. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, the breathing is not our yoga based breathing, the pranayama. No.
Okay, okay. All right. So instead of taking one person, like, personally, don't you hold batches?
I have not, and I'm planning next year a workshop, finally to launch a workshop where, it will be for a group of people. So, I basically teach them about the nervous system, the science behind it, and how to go about it. That will be again very generalized. When the person comes to me, it is very specific because we start off with orienting back to the body, then in the environment, and then move to and fro, environment and body. Watch the breath, and then go forward into the posture and the organ energy and everything. So the group will not be specific; it would be a very generalized, but that is coming surely next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. My God, I do so many of these introducing healers and different kind of people and therapies, on my channel. Just doesn't seem to end. How many things are there out in the universe that we don't know about? You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I suppose, unless, for you, you are interviewing, plus you yourself are into it and you've learned certain things. That is another thing. Also, for me, it's been, I've been through certain things, and then I was, be it a coincidence or the, ultimate design of life, that I was guided towards it. Somehow the right book fell in my lap, and somehow I met the right teacher, and it's always been that way for
Chronicity.
me.
That's called chronicity.
Seriously. So it's for me, it's always been that way, and neither had I heard vortex healing or this, what is this nervous system. I knew there is nervous system in the body. I mean, but I never liked biology. And I've never been a science student. So yeah, this was, and then to go on to learn deeply about it is different. Yeah.
Thank you, Amit. And is there anything more you would like to share about this? I mean, your experiences, or what have you discovered in this journey?
So what current clients that I have is of cancer, thyroid cancer, and corporate with an anxiety issue. So we are on our journey. They are doing well. So it's an ongoing process basically. So slow and steady wins the race. So
I
another
think
example that
you should hold workshops for the corporate world, in
yeah, that's
their
what
offices
the
actually.
yes, yes, that's what I'm planning next year. That because I would love to do in person, and I don't think still it's a right time. Next 2 3 months, I wouldn't want to do it. Probably next year we'll all will be in a better situation, better health. So yes, at that time, this would be very helpful for corporates, lawyers, doctors, teachers, students. Nowadays, kids are stressed out totally, and you see anger issues in them, and the frustration penting up, and I mean the temper tantrums. So the mothers tell me, how they are dealing with it, and it's a sad situation because they are also holed up in at home since last 1.5 year. So it's not been an easy situation. So yes, you all are in the same boat, but this has been helping and is showing results. It will show results post a month. It will start showing a result. Like if you think that sometimes it will start. It shows minute results, but to see a substantial one, it will. You need to be patient enough to wait at least for a month if you're regular with the practice. You will start feeling the difference because I introduce how to remove toxins from each of your organ. So the toxicity, the negativity, all the emotions that aren't serving you. So it
Okay.
helps. Yeah.
Amit is asking, his mother is 75 plus, and way
Hmm.
back in 2004, she took radioactive medicine for thyroid. Radioactive for thyroid, my God. But health is deteriorating every day. Is there any way to help her or reverse her, health issues, as in so that she's better?
Reverse, I don't know how long it will take, but of course we can help her. Of course we can start slow. It's going to be a very slow and steady process. Every day there would be something that we will keep doing. But yes, we can always work on that.
Great. So I think you should contact her, and if your mother can do this therapy. I mean, I don't know if you're in Bombay, but if you're in Bombay, maybe you can take your mother to meet her, if that is possible. The number is down. You can call her up and get in touch with her and see. Meanwhile, you've seen my videos with Dr. Susan Raj, and I'm surprised that you have still not started that mineral therapy with her. So, that definitely you should try. Yeah. So, anything else, Komal, or that is it about the
That is
nervous?
it. That's about it. Then it will be only science class. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think you were telling me that you do one more modality. I think hypnotherapy you were talking about.
Yes, I do hypnotherapy and past life regression. So there are three things that I do. One is vortex, one is this, and one is hypnotherapy.
Past
So
life, PLR.
past, yes, yes, that's a part of hypnotherapy only.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
I know, I know.
yeah.
So have you seen your own past lives?
Oh yes, lot of them. I'm very old soul. So yes, I've seen a lot of lives, and it has helped me in certain situations, certain relationships of
I don't
mine,
know. I
and
mean,
certain
I'm
things.
a little confused about hypnotherapy. Is why I did complete a couple of levels, but then I didn't complete the full course because
Okay.
um, I thought it was a waste of time and money because
Hmm.
they had already taught us hypnotherapy. There's nothing much to teach more, but they just kept on adding things and other things in the middle of hypnotherapy. But I asked my sir one question at the end of the class,
Hmm.
and I've done interviews with him, Dr. Yogesh Vasandi,
Hmm.
and he was my teacher for hypnotherapy. And I
Okay.
asked him, I said, how genuine or what guarantee can you give that whatever life I'm seeing, it is actually me and that it is a truth? So he said, it's up to you. You can believe it as a figment of your imagination, or you can
Hmm.
believe it to be your past life.
True.
So I totally understand that there cannot be any guarantees in such cases. But in
Hmm.
spite of that, it was not very encouraging. That statement was not encouraging because he had nothing to say to that about how genuine it is or not. So, I mean, I've seen many, many past lives of mine,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I'm sure even you have.
Hmm.
How do you I mean, I know this is off the topic and I should probably be asking you in another this thing, but uh, how do you decide that yes, this was me and this was my past life?
So, what I tell my clients, that what I'm seeing, as Dr. Vasandi said, figment of your imagination. So it is my mind, my subconscious mind showing me something, probably because I needed an answer. And if I'm finding that it is helping me in the present times, then yes, it's good enough for me.
So how does it
Even if
help?
because everything will not have a record. There are certain people in my batch also who found records of things where it has been proved true, and whereas I've not tried to find a record, whatever,
So
whatever
when
I've seen, was it true or no?
I saw my past lives, a couple of things I did try to find a record, but I did not get a record of anything.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, you're saying that it helps with you in this life. How
So
does it
what
help? Because
happens?
whatever I have seen, it's not
Hmm.
helped me in any way other than just accept that, okay, this is what happened, and this is probably a karmic baggage or something, and acceptance. Other than acceptance, I did not see in any way that it helped me.
Okay, so did you do past life? There is a past life regression,
I
and there
did.
is a past life regression. Yeah, there is a therapy as well, PLRT. That's what we call it.
I did
Okay.
that as well.
Okay.
With different
So,
people. I did about three, four, five people. Peer past life regressions and past life regression therapy. So I did it with different people, but yeah, I did.
yeah,
Have you?
so what happens is, when I do it, I ask, once the soul is out of the body in that life, I take the soul, I guide the soul to meet the higher self. And then I ask the soul if the soul wants to go back to a point in their earlier life, which they had just visited, and, want to make certain changes. So then, if they say, the soul says yes, then I take them back to that life, to that point from where they want to make
Yeah,
the
I've done
changes.
that.
And then
I've done
the
that.
whole thing is different, right? Then there is a certain lesson that we integrate. Like how in healing, when I give vortex healing, then I'm constantly upgrading your system to come at par in balance with whatever I've done. The release has happened, and then I've upgraded. So your nadis will come, your body pathways, which are, all the nerves, that will also get upgraded. Then there is something called healing integration, so that your body accepts the healing and it is at par. The whole body, the whole system, every organ, everything is at par with that healing. So that is what happens. And when you integrate that lesson, it's more than the acceptance. When then you know why, and when you know why, there are a lot of times, when in our conscious life also we keep asking. A lot of people ask why this had to happen to me, mere साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हुआ, या मेरा. So there you get your answer why it has happened to you. And even if it is not true, your mind has shown you something which you needed. And we all know that we do not remember everything consciously, but when we sleep, certain things come up. When we go in trance, certain things come up, which are, at those nooks and crannies in the subconscious mind. So your mind has shown you that picture. Once you integrate that lesson and you come back, you know why that has happened. So once I know why that has happened, I'm a bit more relaxed. I'm a bit more calmer. I have integrated the lesson. Once I integrate the lesson, I know, ye hai, theek hai. Then there is no fight happening. There is no internal fight that why this had to happen with me only. Then I'm constantly at war with myself and the world. So once I know my why, I am not at war with myself. Maybe I
Right.
will still be at war with the world in a higher or lesser degree, but at least I'm not at war with myself. I'm not at war generally. That's what happens. So
Well,
that's what I
maybe
tell
I'll
my
try a
clients.
session with you as well. Another
Sure.
hypnotherapy past life. I have been looking for, I've tried hypnotherapy with so many people, hoping to
Hmm.
find that, okay, this works.
Hmm. Hmm.
But, ठीक है. Like my friend which says, something can work with anybody in this world, but एक तू अजीब नमूना है, तेरे साथ nothing works. Nothing works. According
maybe
to him,
maybe
nothing works with me.
No, so maybe I will, more than the past life, I will look at that inner child, which is resisting everything, and what is the reason for this resistance. I will break that resistance, because in my circle, in my hypnotherapy circle, I'm the inner child expert. So inner
Oh,
child healing expert. Yes. So I am very, so I do past life regression, but if you say what is the one, topic that I love, which is that is inner child healing.
okay.
So yeah, that is my specialty.
Wow. Okay. So maybe tomorrow I can have an inner child regression therapy as well. Okay. I'm coming to see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for explaining this nervous system thing. And I hope it really, people come to see you and it really helps them.
I
And
hope
maybe
so.
I'll try that out someday. Thank you so much,
Sure.
Komal.
Thank you, Guinea. Thank you for having me again. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome. Bye. If you want to do a live session on YouTube for people to see, maybe, we can do that someday.
Sure. We'll do that.
PLR. Wow. Okay. So we'll call somebody to be a specimen. Website लिखा है. Awaken Within 444. Awaken Within .info. That's the website. It's scrolling below. And so is her number. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Good night. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and good night. I hope you understood all that she was talking about. And in case you are going through all that stress and want to balance your nervous system, maybe you can speak to her. And I hope it helps. Good night and take care.